We all saw in horror the murder of Iryna Zarutska in Charlotte, right? This was a criminal who'd been let out after 14 different arrests, repeated violent career criminal. And there's routinely these judges that are incompetent or worse, putting these guys back on the streets. Like, how do we solve this? Is this legislation? Like what is it to stop letting these violent criminals out again?
I mean, I've used that exact example. Like, here's why we are cleaning up Tulsa. We're not going to allow this stuff to happen. We're not going to allow these people who are going to be here. That person obviously had a lot of mental issues, but he's a murderer, and it needs to be punished to the full extent of the law. But a couple things. Number one, there's a group of people that have these mental problems, and quite frankly, they need to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
They need to be long-term in some kind of system where they're not going to be roaming the streets. So I think we need to really look at that, and that's one thing Oklahoma's looking at is if you have some serious mental issues, we are going to get you we're going to prosecute you. That's part of Trump's executive order. We're going to commit you long-term. But then there's a group of people that literally are just, they're addicted to drugs, and we need to get them the help that they need. So that's a group of people. But then there's a group of people that literally this is their lifestyle. And as long as you enable them to live on the streets, to do drugs, to move from community to community, and you give them 3 meals a day, and you talk to them about housing, you're going to have people that they're not hitting rock bottom. They want that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think we want to make sure that if you've got some mental issues, we're going to commit them long-term to get the help that they need. We're not going to let them on the street. And I think that's something that as Americans, we need to relook at. I think pre-1980, there used to be more homes long-term for the mentally ill. And I think they went through a move to get them, and it's contributed to our homelessness.
No, of course. I think everyone saw movies like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and they thought these were horrible places, and they wanted to shut them down. But we didn't realize actually you need to have them, and it takes a lot of courage to build them. So I really appreciate you doing this. Like I think with career criminals like this as well, we talk more about it, but I've seen the data at this point. I'm now for a 2 strikes and you're out on violent felonies. I think if 2 violent felonies, why are we letting them do a third? Because the data is that the third through the 15th in our society is actually the majority of the violent crimes. I'm like, what is going on here? This seems like we should just lock them up if they're bad guys.
That's a great point. It's a great point. I mean, the thing that happened to that young lady in North Carolina was preventable, and the judges and everybody should have to look in the mirror at letting that person just continually be on the street.
Yeah, well, hopefully it spurs us all to take action in her memory there. And so, this show is called The American Optimist. I have 5 young daughters now and a son, and I'm hoping they're going to be safe on the streets. Leave us with a note of optimism. Like, we don't need to tolerate this kind of chaos and disorder in our country, right? Like, I'm afraid for my kids to go downtown right now, even here in Austin, Texas. And can we get people real help while solving these problems? You're feeling good? The whole country's going to figure this out?
I am. I'm optimistic that we're going to celebrate our 250th anniversary as a country next year. And so this idea that the American dream is alive and well in Oklahoma, and I'm trying to promote that to the rest of the country, that we live in the greatest country in the world, and the fact that you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to in America, and it doesn't matter who your parents are, it doesn't matter who you're born to, through education and free markets and entrepreneurship, you can accomplish your dreams. You have the freedom to marry who you want to marry. You've got the freedom to, go to school if you want to go, not go to school, start a business, not start a business, start a nonprofit. And we can't lose that idea that, just go look at how many people want to come to our country versus others. And that we've got something special going on. But if we let, I don't want to stereotype everybody, but if we let some of these folks just talk about and let people just live on the streets like this, and these mayors just, these political elites just talking about, we're going to build housing for everybody and we're going to give them drugs and needles, that's not a solution, and it's not going to work. And we need the majority of Americans to step up and hold our elected officials accountable to do what's right.